The Galactic Council had made their decision unanimously. Humanity was too dangerous to exist. Ambassador Zethkar of the Hegemony stood before the assembled representatives of 47 civilizations, his crystalline form pulsing with righteous conviction. The humans, he declared, his voice resonating through the chamber's translation matrix, have violated every principle of civilized warfare. They fight without honor, show no mercy to superior forces, and refuse to yield when faced with inevitable defeat. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the assembly. The Vorthak delegate's tentacles writhed in disgust as she recounted humanity's recent atrocities, using guerrilla tactics against occupation forces, targeting supply lines instead of engaging in honorable fleet battles, and worst of all, continuing to resist even when their homeworld burned. "They are broken," hissed the serpentine representative from Kolthara. "Broken beyond repair. A species that cannot recognize the natural order of submission to superior forces has no place in our galaxy." The vote was swift. Humanity would be exterminated. What followed was the most comprehensive military campaign in galactic history. The combined fleets of the Council descended upon human space like a cosmic storm. Earth fell within days, its cities reduced to ash, its defenders scattered to the void. The outer colonies followed in quick succession: New Tokyo, Haven's Gate, Kepler's Dream, all silenced. The galaxy breathed a collective sigh of relief. The broken species was no more. 3 years passed in peace. Then the merchant vessel Profitable Endeavor vanished near the Proxima sector. Then a hegemony patrol disappeared in the Vega system. When the Council sent investigation teams, they found only debris fields and a single message broadcast on all frequencies. "We are not extinct. We are not broken. We are learning." Commander Sarah Chen watched the Vorthak supply convoy through her ship's stealth sensors, her scarred face illuminated by the tactical display. The ghost of Terra hung invisible in the asteroid field, one of dozens of human vessels that had survived the purge by embracing what their enemies called dishonorable tactics. "They think we're broken because we don't fight the way they expect," she whispered to her crew. "They don't understand that adaptation isn't dishonor, it's evolution." The convoy was massive, protected by 3 dreadnoughts and a dozen escorts. By Council standards, it was impregnable. By human standards, it was a target. Chen's crew consisted of survivors from across human space, a former corporate security officer from Mars, 2 asteroid miners from the Belt, a xenobiologist who'd lost her family on Earth, and dozens of others who'd watched their worlds burn. They were broken, perhaps, in the way the Council understood brokenness. But they were also something the galaxy had never encountered, a species that grew stronger from trauma. "Deploy the gifts," Chen ordered. What the galaxy called terrorism, humans called asymmetric warfare. What the Council termed dishonor, humanity knew as survival. The Vorthak convoy suddenly found their ships, AI systems corrupted by human malware, their navigation computers showing false readings, their weapons targeting their own vessels. As chaos erupted among the convoy, dozens of small human craft emerged from hiding, not to engage in glorious battle, but to strip the disabled ships of supplies before vanishing back into the void. No shots were fired. No lives were lost. But the convoy's cargo, food, medical supplies, advanced technology, now belonged to the extinct human resistance. The attack was reported to the Council as another incident of human dishonor. But in the depths of space, aboard hidden bases carved from asteroids and built inside dead planets, humanity was rebuilding itself into something new. Dr. Elena Vasquez had been a civilian scientist before the purge. Now in her laboratory aboard the mobile research station Darwin's Revenge, she studied captured Council technology with the intensity of someone who had nothing left to lose. The galaxy's species had evolved in isolation, she realized, developing advanced technology, but never facing true existential threats. They fought wars like games with rules and honor and expected outcomes. Humanity had evolved differently. On Earth, they had faced extinction events, ice ages, plagues, and wars that reshaped continents. They had learned to adapt, to survive, to find opportunity in catastrophe. "They called us broken," Vasquez muttered as she reverse-engineered another piece of hegemony technology. They didn't realize that broken things, when they heal, often become stronger than before. The Council's second campaign began 5 years after the first. This time they were prepared for human dishonor. They deployed sensor networks to detect stealth ships, hardened their computer systems against malware, and adopted more flexible tactics. It didn't matter. Humanity had spent those 5 years doing more than just surviving. They had been learning, not just about council technology and tactics, but about the fundamental weaknesses of a galaxy that had never truly been tested. The hegemony's mighty fortress world of Kethmore, supposedly impregnable behind its energy shields and orbital defense platforms, fell not to a fleet assault but to a single human freighter carrying a cargo hold full of modified nanites. The nanites didn't attack the shields or weapons. They simply began converting the planet's atmosphere into something toxic to its crystalline inhabitants. The Vorthak's proud warrior? Culture discovered that all their training in honorable combat meant nothing when human boarding parties used the ventilation systems to deploy psychoactive compounds that turned their own enhanced senses against them. The serpentine Koltherons, masters of space-based warfare, found their fleets outmaneuvered by human vessels that fought like wounded animals, unpredictable, vicious, and willing to sacrifice themselves to take down larger prey. World after world fell to human ingenuity, not through the massive bombardments and honorable conquests the Council expected, but through infiltration, sabotage, and psychological warfare that turned their own strengths into weaknesses. The final Council session was held aboard the last remaining hegemony station, as reports flooded in from across the galaxy. The extinct humans had not only survived but had conquered 40% of Council space in less than 2 years. How? Ambassador Zethkar's crystalline form had dimmed to barely visible levels. How did a broken species accomplish this? The answer came from an unexpected source. On the main display, a human face appeared, scarred, weathered, but undeniably alive. Commander Sarah Chen smiled coldly at the assembled delegates. "You taught us an important lesson," she said. "You showed us that the galaxy operates on rules. Rules about honor, about proper warfare, about knowing when you're beaten. But here's the thing about humans. We've never been good at following rules, especially rules that are designed to get us killed." She leaned forward, her eyes reflecting the light of dying worlds. "You called us broken because we wouldn't accept defeat. But you were wrong about what broken means. Broken isn't when something stops working. Broken is when something becomes unpredictable, when it stops following the patterns you expect, when it becomes dangerous." The transmission ended, and in the silence that followed, the Council finally understood their mistake. They had tried to break humanity by conventional means, but humans had been broken long before they reached the stars. Broken by evolution, by history, by the simple fact of being a species that had clawed its way up from nothing. The galaxy had tried to break humanity. Instead, they learned what broken truly means. And in learning that lesson, they discovered that sometimes the most broken things are the ones that refuse to stay broken.